Hello, Alyssa here. Have you ever wondered if you could visualize yourself to success? We see these words come up a lot, like visualize yourself to success, and if you think it, you can start to do it. And there's some really good evidence that there is a lot of truth to these claims of visualizing yourself to success. I remember, I think it was like the 2006 Olympics, I'm not exactly sure, but it was the first time that I really noticed the downhill skiers in the Winter Olympics and how much visualization they were doing at the top of a run, as they're like getting prepared. They're doing the run in their mind before they do the run, and they're doing the run in their mind in a way that gets them down the hill as fast and efficiently as possible. Body movements, just hitting each of the turns, whatever it is, right? And I was so struck with it because it was so visible in that particular Olympics to me, for whatever reason, that it really had me locked onto this idea. So I started looking at the ideas of visualization, and there was an interesting study out of Bishop's University in England where they took healthy young men and they broke them into three groups. The control group didn't do anything. The one group did a physical exercise to, I don't know, I think it was a hip flexor exercise. And they're like sitting there with the machine going like this to increase the muscle tone of their hip flexors. And then the third group just did the exercise once and then visualized themselves doing the exercise. And what they found was that the physical exercisers had the most amount of strength building that went on, but the visualization exercisers actually had a significantly higher amount of strength that was built by visualizing this exercise the same time and a number of sessions as the actual exercisers were getting. And then the control group didn't have any change at all. And I thought that was so interesting because it really starts to speak to the power of our mind, right? The neuroscience that motivates our brain and or works within our brain. And so it made me really start thinking about this. If it's true that our brain doesn't really know the difference between what it's imagining and what's actually happening in the world around us, then we really have a lot of choice in how we want to focus our attention. And one of the things I often use with clients is this idea of visualization. And one of the ways that you can use it to help you be more successful is to start to visualize, where is it you really want to be? What is the relationship to the situation that you have, and how do you want to show up in that regard? So I was recently working with an executive who had to have a very difficult conversation with the direct report. And he was going in with this mindset already of, this person's going to push back, they're very rigid, they're going to be angry at me. And so he was already starting to armor up for this conversation. And so he brought it to the coaching call. And I asked him, I said, what is the outcome if you were to just notice the outcome that you wanted to have out of this conversation, what does that look like? And he started to talk about how he really wants to be an ally, he really wants to be a champion, and he really wants to have a different conversation with this person in the future. And that shifted his whole relationship to how he was going to enter this conversation. All of a sudden, he's realizing, I'm going in defensive and I can go in a different way. And so we started talking about it. He's starting to visualize the different ways that he might show up and how that might influence the conversation that he's going to have, but also prepared him to walk in not so ready to do battle. And in that regard, he had a much more successful conversation with this person. It doesn't mean that the other person's going to go, great, I'm so glad I didn't, get what I wanted, and now we're going to have a conversation about it. Yet he was able to manifest a different outcome than if he had walked in ready to do battle, ready to fight it out with this person. He went in with a completely different energy as a result of visualizing the outcome that he was moving towards. And I think that we can use this sort of visualization all the time. And I often call it, what is your goal, right? This is a visualization exercise. What is your goal? And is what you're about to say, think, or do going to take you one step closer to that goal or one step farther away? So with that, I hope this tool might be useful. really put some attention on where you want to go and what's important to you and how you would like that to look for yourself. And then what are you about to say, think, or do that takes you one step closer to that or one step farther away? Start walking closer. Cheers.